A car flipping over in a mechanic's garage, a woman pretending to have been hit by a car, a motorcyclist crashing and falling into a manhole, or a man trying not to get caught by his lover's husband. Sit back and enjoy these very strange but real things that were caught on surveillance cameras. These images taken by security cameras at an airport show a man with his bag in his hand heading for customs. Since he only had one piece of luggage, he preferred to take it with him rather than send it to the hold. But since this was his first time traveling by plane, the man did something crazy, which did not escape the surveillance cameras or the customs officer. When he arrived at the security checkpoint to have his hand luggage checked, instead of putting it on the conveyor belt and going through the security gate, the man entered the scanner on all fours on the belt, while the customs officer waiting on the other side was stunned and did not understand anything. How could a man with reason do such an absurd thing? Did he do it on purpose, or was it because he really didn't know how to get through the security gate? In any case, it earned him thousands of mocking comments on social networks. Well, since he did it the first time and was surely reprimanded, I'm sure he won't do it again. You know the Teletubbies. Who doesn't? Those cute little dolls that rocked our childhood and were as soft as lambs. But well, that dates from the 90s. Lately, the 2000s version has appeared, and it is, how to say, quite special. Want to get an idea of what they do? Sit back and prepare to be shocked. These are the new Teletubbies, demonic delinquent version. Recently, a group of people have appeared online dressed as Teletubbies. On their videos, these contemporary Teletubbies do, unlike the originals, some stupid things. But real ones, the kind that send you directly to jail. For example, on this video captured by the security cameras of a factory, these Teletubbies arrived in the middle of the night in a car, go out of it, made the famous rounds that we all know. They then disappeared for a few moments, came back with a forklift, did their antiques again before running away with it. Yes, this is clearly called theft. We don't know if it was staged or a real crime, but one thing is for sure, the case will be followed up. I'm sure this has ruined and shattered your angelic image of real Teletubbies. But don't worry, they will surely be found and put in jail. I'm talking about the fake Teletubbies, of course. As for you, you can pretend you never saw this demoralizing sequence. A woman was driving around with her lover by her side when she decides to go home with her boyfriend. But unfortunately for her, on that day, her husband had come home early and didn't have the keys to the house, so he was waiting for her at the door. But how to justify the presence of a stranger at her side? Fortunately, the windows of the vehicle were tinted, so the husband did not see the man beside him, but though he saw a figure moving. And then what happened was just incredible. The woman got out of the car to talk to her husband and at the same time to distract him, while her lover got out of his mess. This last one took advantage of it to go down in his turn very discreetly. He got out of the car while crouching down not to be spotted. The funniest part is when the husband started to look inside the car, to turn around, to come and go, and during all this time, the crouching lover was also turning around the vehicle and doing everything to avoid the husband. A mind-blowing scene that was captured by the street surveillance cameras. Let's pray that the husband doesn't get his hands on it, otherwise his wife will be toast. Moreover, the latter panicked so much that it was visible in her behavior. It is also certainly that which put the flea in the ear of her husband. Well, she got away with it this time, but the problem is that her husband is on his guard. From now on, she will have to be extra vigilant. A mechanic was working in his garage with a young helper. Both of them had to repair a pickup truck. They raised the vehicle to make it easier to work. But by pressing a little too much on the lever used to raise the vehicle, the ladder, which was held onto iron bars, lost its balance and overturned under the effect of its weight, to end up on the ground completely turned over. The poor mechanic could not believe his eyes. But hey, it was his mistake. He was the only one responsible. Unfortunately, he not only lost the car, but also his notoriety and will have to pay a lot of money to repair the damage that was caused, in addition to the repair that he had to do initially. For sure, he must have hated his job after that. I wonder if he is still a mechanic. On a highway, a woman was lurking mysteriously. She was planning to stage an accident in order to get money from a motorist. When she chose and located the victim who was going to fall into her trap, she pretended to cross the road in order to pass him in the middle of the road. Once they passed each other, the woman then threw herself to the ground, pretending to have been hit when the car did not hit her. Of course, her pathetic plan did not have a shred of credibility. The motorist then drove off, leaving the woman who had planned to get money for the so-called care on the ground. Seeing that her plan didn't work, she immediately got up. And when she turned around, she realized that the car behind her had filmed this lamentable scene. She left with her trail between her legs. Now that her video has made the rounds of the web, she can be sure that her plan will never work again, since everyone has been warned of this deception. She will have to think about something else now. This man holding a helmet in his hand was on his way to work. He was probably on his way to a construction site. But as he was crossing the crosswalk of the main boulevard, he met a young boy. The latter, who obviously came from a very disadvantaged background, had approached him as if to talk to him. And suddenly he threw himself on the wallet, the agenda, and the phone that the man was holding in his other hand. The young boy wanted to snatch them and run away with them. Fortunately, the man held on and did not let go. He held on to his personal belongings and at the same time tried to get the thief away by hitting him repeatedly. Of course, violence is not a good thing. But he still had to defend himself. Seeing that his plan was falling apart and that he was in danger of being caught, the boy let go of his prey and ran away. The poor man was very frightened because his whole life was in that phone and his agenda. He left shaken but very relieved. He had never thought that someone could steal so deliberately in the middle of a bright day and a busy boulevard. He'll never get caught again after this. The owner of a pet supply store was serving a customer. She had come in to pick up some seed for her birds. After being served, the woman placed a bill on the counter while the salesperson and his wife were busy packing the customer's merchandise into a bag. Meanwhile, a bird flew in and landed on the counter. The man was used to having birds show up at his house to steal a few stray seeds here and there. But this bird wanted something else. Seeing the bill on the counter, the bird grabbed it in its beak and flew away with it, all under the haggard eyes of the salesman, his wife, and the customer. Unfortunately for him, he lost money stupidly. This will teach him to always hide the money before doing anything else. There are some clever birds around. Wednesday, August the 5th, 2020, in Paragominas, Brazil, a 27-year-old woman on her scooter was on her way to work. And because she was too late, she ran a red light and immediately hit a car that wanted to cross perpendicularly. Because of the impact, the young woman was thrown on the road, dragged, and rolled for several meters before finishing her race and being swallowed by a manhole. The poor woman remained there for many minutes, waiting to be rescued by passers-by who had gathered around the manhole. Unfortunately, the victim suffered serious injuries to her spine. She was rushed to the hospital for surgery after being removed from her hole. It must be said that it was not her day, but that she was nevertheless lucky in her misfortune to survive this double accident. This is a lesson for her and for all the scooterists who see this video. From now on, she will never run a red light again because the damage is too serious to allow herself to take risks. In Russia, a man suspected his wife of cheating on him on his way to work. He then decided to trap her and hired 2 investigators to watch her. He had a surveillance camera installed in their loft and let it happen. One day, he pretended to go to work and told his wife he would be gone all day. Once he left, the wife called her lover. He didn't take long to come running. During the evening, the woman offered her lover a massage. The man goes shirtless and submits to the tempting proposal. And while she was giving him his massage, the husband decided to return suddenly without warning, because obviously he had seen everything by camera, helped by the couple of investigators who were watching her outside from the car. Hearing the noise of the door, the lover will immediately go to hide upstairs, while the wife will try in vain to hide her panic. She will sit on the stairs to prevent her husband from going up. But since he was warned, he immediately showed her that he knew everything. I'll let you guess how the scene ended and how their story ended. It was a very hard portrayal for the poor man to bear, but he will soon get over it because losing someone who betrayed us is not really a loss. This will at least teach him to always be on his guard and never leave home for too long. So, which of these sequences do you find the most surprising? Tell us what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a blue thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next contents.